Have to look too far to know just where you are. Valleys low, looking high. I stole my second chance right out of Zeus's hands. Made my bed and now I lie. I'm just Sisyphus, always on the bottom top. Towards the mountaintop, on my trail of broken hearts, damn near falling apart. I'm just Sisyphus, always waiting on the ball to drop. Traded the finer things for all these broken dreams. Cheated death, but now I'm caught. Rolling up my stone, trying to atone everything I know I'm not. I'm just Sisyphus, waiting on the ball to drop. Over and over again, climbing towards the mountaintop. On my trail of broken hearts, damn near falling apart. I'm just Sisyphus, always waiting on the ball to drop. Over and over and over and over again. Over and over and over and over again. Over and over and over and over again. I'm just Sisyphus, climbing towards the mountaintop.
All right, welcome to the King's Quarters with Aaron King. I am Aaron King. Today we have our guest, Jacob Ferguson.
Shalom.
Hello, Jacob. Tell us a little about yourself. I know you do music.
Well, my name is Jacob Ferguson. You said that. I'm from Texas originally. I was kind of a military brat, so I've lived all over the place, but I've lived in Springfield all of my adult life. And me and you met a couple years ago playing in a tribute act.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah. For Paramore. That was an interesting thing.
Shit was fun to play, dude.
That was a packed show. There were so many people there.
That was cool.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot together. We're both guys that, like, if you play music around Springfield, you probably ran into one of us or seen us or something.
Whether you like it or
not. Whether you like it or not. So yeah, you said you lived in Springfield most of your life, and I've also done that. I was born here in Springfield, and it's been interesting being a musician, just growing up here in Springfield and getting all the music influences that you can just hear without even leaving this town, really.
Yeah, it's incredibly diverse.
Diverse, that's a good word to put it. I've heard several people say that we don't really have a Springfield sound. What would you think?
I don't know. I'd like to think that somebody like Justin Larkin encapsulates the Springfield sound, like, because he's got like folk elements and stuff, and he uses this imagery that's like, I'd like to like claim like somebody like Joe Dillstrom or the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, or there's kind of there's a Big Smith, like Ozark Mountain Daredevils and Big Smith are different, but there's like some kind of like roots element to it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the roots element. We'll never be able to get rid of that in this area.
Like that blues and country and gospel and
yeah.
good shit.
Yeah. Why? How did you get so good at guitar?
Well, I don't. Really, just from being stubborn enough to stick with it.
Yeah.
You know, and I had some friends in high school that played guitar, and I just thought it was so cool. I wanted to do it, and it just dedicated a lot of time to it. I went to rehab when I was 16, and we had an hour of recreational time. And there was an acoustic guitar in the house.
Oh, that sounds.
There was this
That's an
kid
interesting
named
story, yeah.
Connor Dillon, and the first thing I ever learned was just like this little 2-note do 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 do, you know. And I just from there I was hooked. That's all I want to do. And I listened to John Butler, he has this song called Ocean, which is like this 12-string instrumental thing. And one of my buddies showed me that when I was a kid, and it just always stuck somewhere in my in the frontal lobe of my brain. It's such a beautiful song, and I don't listen to it as much. Like I feel like there's something about playing music where it almost kind of like ruins some of enjoying listening to music. For me personally,
It changes the way that you hear it and perceive it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, my tastes have changed so much. Like I've played Last Dance with Mary Jane so many times in my life, and will just to fill time when I need to, that it's like I don't ever want to hear it again, you know. But I say that, but then if I heard it
But
and actually listened to the whole thing, I would notice something and I'm like, oh shit, you know, I should add that in, or you know.
Oh man. Yeah, that's a good song.
It is. It's crazy. Have you ever seen the music video?
No, I haven't.
He's like in a morgue. It's very weird. I don't know. It's a strange one. I don't know if I've ever finished it, but it just starts with him like dead.
Yeah, there was something that you mentioned that I was going to talk about, but
Like your perception of music once you learn.
well, your perception of
songs or
music.
something.
Yeah, we can go off of that. I mean, for me personally, you know, I got my training in music from the school, from
Yeah.
MSU, and one of the things that they teach in your early music theory classes is ear training, and they have you in this class. You know, they had like this computer program that you go through, and it will like play two pitches, and you have to be like, that's a perfect fifth, or that's a minor third, or a major third, or whatever.
That's like some real training.
Yeah, real training. But it's the best thing. I don't know. Whenever I was a kid, because I grew up in the band program, and
At Willard.
at Willard, we went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Which
Willard's
is
got a good
amazing.
band.
Yeah.
Better than our football team.
We went to were we in the high school at the same time, or because we didn't meet until like
Damn
a few years ago.
near. Because I graduated in 15.
15. Okay, I graduated 10. So there's a good
Little gap.
there's a gap. But anyway, I grew up in the band program, and like my senior year of high school, I had like 2 band classes, three band classes. Half my thing was band classes actually, I think, because I went to I did the A+ tutoring at the middle school and helped taught with the music there, and I did percussion in 2 jazz bands. So
You like had as many band courses as you
Yeah,
could.
yeah,
It
then-
sounds like.
and but I was fascinated once I learned about the stuff that they were teaching, you know, music reading and stuff like that. I can't. I just remember like listening to stuff like Green Day and being like, oh, it's like there's a triplet. I learned like me and like 13-year-old me just being astounded listening to Green Day and recognizing like this thing that I heard or that I learned about in music class is
Right, I feel like I was being kind of cynical about it, because it does help you appreciate music in different ways too.
Yeah. But it totally changes your perception about it, because once you learn about those things, you can't unlearn. You can't unhear it that way.
Right.
You can't know. I've heard other professional musicians talk about this, where you almost have to listen to something that you don't know how it's made to get that feeling again.
Yeah, well, it's like food. You know, when you're a baby, all you like is like mother's milk. And then, you know, you get older, you start chewing on shit, you get some teeth, you know, you don't like broccoli. Get older, you like broccoli. Yeah. When you're a kid, beer is icky, you don't like beer. When you get older, beer is awesome, you know. And on and on. There's like this olive loaf meat that people buy that's just like the most old man ass sandwich meat you've ever seen. Like if you saw it right now, you wouldn't want a piece.
That's
but in 50 years.
I mean, that's why jazz gets a bad reputation, because you have to actually listen. You have to learn how to listen to it.
Hear all the functioning pieces.
All the because that's a language. Mm-hmm. You know, that's just straight up, you know, people with instruments talking with instruments.
Yeah.
And I remember going through that process of myself, because as I mentioned, I did the jazz bands, but even it wasn't until I was like well into college before I actually learned how to listen to jazz. That was.
But you had already been playing it.
I'd been playing it for a long time. I'd been listening to it, but I wasn't listening to it until I was in college. If that makes sense. There's a difference between listening and.
No, that's interesting.
Listening and listening.
Like the idea of learning something before you really even get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's how they teach it in the school program, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. That was how I learned, but that's how I'm not sure. Like
maybe they should just sit you down with a record player.
Yeah.
Spinning vinyl at you.
Like they and that's why I love. I'm glad that we're talking about this, because we went to the same high school, but and both are playing music together. But I went through that formal training that they provide at the school, and you didn't. But
I mean, it served you well. I mean, your ear is a lot better off than mine is.
But again, if you go to college for 6 years of doing that, you're gonna get good. I'm impressed by anyone that sounds good, because I'm like, it doesn't matter who you are.
Well, that's the funny thing about you too, is because you have this education and you can play jazz and this, but then when it comes to like your personal playlist, it's like weird like punk bands. It's like, you know, it's like. It's kind of what we were talking about earlier, where it's almost like the rhythm is more important than like the actual harmonic content of the stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's I was thinking about it before. So much of it, I think, just comes down to affect, of how much does it affect people, whatever way.
Yeah.
Because like quality, studio quality. One of my biggest fears whenever I started like building this stuff is like there's a lot of good engineers in town. I feel like I can't compete, but then like you take a step back and it's like some of my favorite recordings don't sound that great, like, or you go back to or like even stuff like released,
it's encouraging.
even stuff released recently, like within the past like couple of years, from like, you know, groups that I like that just come from, you know, from that like folk punk or whatever background. You hear the recording and says like, oh, even their recordings aren't that great.
Yeah,
it's like this,
especially with the folk punk bands.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like just off their phone.
Because it's because it is about music and art. You know, it's about affect.
It's an aesthetic.
Yeah, it's an aesthetic.
It's the timbre.
The timbre. I heard a good quote one time of perfection is the enemy of good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
I think that's a good thing for musicians to always keep in mind.
Yeah.
Is
there's always going to be a bigger fish, but you know, if there's like there's a piece in you where it's just like you have a desire to record, and it's like good for you. Record
if you
shit.
If you got
For me, it's like I know I'm not the best songwriter, even in my own town, not by a long shot. You know, but it's like I still want to play my music and try to do it the best I can.
Music is a compulsion. Like
it
really is. It's also got, you know, it's it's kind of in a way. I don't want to sound too hippy dippy-ish with this, but it's got its healing properties.
Well,
Like
it's all a vibration. No, really. Like if you want to get like bizarre about it, like the Tesla quote, like think about everything as vibration, and just like you know, it moves like bass, like moves buildings, like you know. It's like,
there's reasons. There's this song that I love, called "Ukulele Anthem" by Amanda Palmer, and basically it's this song. It's just her on her ukulele, and the whole gist of this song is if everyone just learned how to play the ukulele, then we would have world peace. The song starts out talking about how Sid Vicious played bass guitar. He played a 4-string bass guitar as like the first lines of the lyrics, and died of heroin and may have killed his girlfriend. I'm not sure if you know Sid Vicious. That's like
no, the Sex Pistols, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, and then he goes on to say like maybe if he was playing ukulele instead of bass, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
he wouldn't have died from heroin. And then maybe if John Lennon wrote Imagine on ukulele, people would have gotten the message. And and also the chorus is like, learn the ukulele, play your songs, play the cover songs, sing the words wrong, stop pretending art is hard, limit yourself to 4 chords, and do not practice daily. Like these are all like lyrics from this just amazing song.
It's a real manifesto.
Song. Ukulele Anthem is what it's called by Amanda Palmer.
It's like, you know, that feeling like when you hear something really good, it makes you have like goosebumps and your hair stands up. Like, what is that? That's not an intellectual thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's something.
You know.
That's a lot of why, I'm doing this whole thing that I'm doing with this Royal Court Studios sessions whatever thing, is my thought of everyone deserves their stage. Everyone deserves their moment to get on here and do their thing, especially with music. Like, there's no wrong music because that's what I grew up in. Was that classical or that
everything's graded.
That band program. Mm-hmm. It wasn't graded so much as, but it was still like they did the weirdest thing. Because it's high school and you have to, they made music a competition. Like that, it was competitive music. Like you went to your like jazz competitions or your marching band competitions.
Yeah.
And so you were graded. So it was graded in that sense.
Right.
And judged, and
just literally
judged.
Yeah.
Like there were judges.
Yeah.
And it was one really great in getting that discipline of learning how to play music because that's all they did. Like every single morning, I was in the drum line.
Yeah, we were 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning. With to a metronome, blasting at us, doing 8th notes on each hand to a metronome.
You guys would stand out there when it was cold.
When it was cold, yeah. When it's super cold.
It's like Missouri cold.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been talking too much about myself. Let's talk about what projects have you got going on?
Oh well, if anybody's made it this far,
I'll probably cut out some of that junk. I don't know.
Oh, who cares, man? I'll listen to it. Frickin', I got a show with Michael Stanton Armstrong this Thursday, if this thing is out by Thursday or before. But what would that?
Let's see. Today is Monday, so I can get this out before Thursday. Yeah.
If not, no biggie. But that's a show coming up with Michael, and be our last show with Brian Pitts in the band. Great drummer, great singer. Kim Katina's gonna open, so it'll be a pretty good show, really.
Nice.
You might be there.
I might be there. We'll see. It's always a mystery what I do because I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. The enigma.
Cool. Any other thoughts on music, life, energy? We'll stay away from politics and religion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've learned. I'm going through a lot of changes right now, and I think it's important to get the message out there to to watch out for the people that you love, and then personally just to watch your temper and watch your emotions, and to be in control of what you're doing, and not the other way around where your emotions are controlling you.
Yeah. We all can work on that.
Unless you're making art, then let your emotions control you. And then you take that big pile of emotion and you make a fucking story out of it. And then you come to Aaron King's and you play it.
All right. So with that, we have the King's Quarter with Aaron King with our guest, Jacob Ferguson. Please go on to the Patreon for sessions at Royal Court Studios. What I'm doing there is I'm paying these fine musicians some money to play some music, and hoping that helps them out and getting videos and promotions and letting them start their careers, and so help me help other people by visiting that Patreon. We'll see how long before this series gets canceled.
What?
I'll have to check in with the boss.
We didn't even talk about politics. Come on, Aaron, don't be a square.
All right, and that song at the beginning of the video was Sisyphus. I think I'm gonna put that one as the first one.
Yeah. Sisyphus,
and then now
3 Chords and a Myth. That's what that is.
And what was this?
The second one's called In the Flesh.
In the Flesh. Please enjoy In the Flesh. I'm going to hire a new spokesperson for this job. Thank you for watching and listening if you got this far.
Save me. You know what's best. You're my perfect peace. Yet I'm still so drunk, falling down on the street. Lying in bed, the stranger that I meet when I'm in the flesh. The sacrifice I need, yes, I'm such a mess. Feel so unclean. I think I want it now, but it brings me down. Some temporary relief in this grief. Why can't I trust you when I'm falling down? And I love the beach or in town when I'm in the flesh. Sacrifice I need. I'm such a mess. I feel so unclean. body pumped up and full of pride. Now I feel invincible, like I'll never die. I'm a liar and a cheat, and I deserve everything. Driving nails into your feet, so you never leave when I'm in the flesh. A sacrifice and need, yes, I'm such a mess. Feel so unclean when I'm in the flesh. I need, yes, I'm such a